Hi, and welcome to Star Lighthouse. I'm Prashant, and this is weekly reading for Sun, Moon, Venus rising in Capricorn. This is a generic read, so I suggest please take all the messages that resonate with you and leave everything else behind. And this reading does connect with you. There is an extension to it. The link for that extension is below in the description box. So Capricorn, how are you doing? How was November for you? Hopefully you're able to find some family time, some connection time. Being able to find some groundedness before the holiday season coming out. I know it's been like a tough year, especially for a lot of people. So finding some sort of like spirit, especially for this holiday season, might do the difference. Let's focus, Capricorn, on the idea, the thought, the feeling, the question that brought you to this reading. Take a deep breath. Exhale and let everything else go. Just focus on that question. And let's see if this reading has an answer for you. Devil energy being blocked by Empress. Past situations, Magician, and Mind's ambition, death, Heart's desire, Knight of chalices, and future situations, High Priestess. Alright, so it's like 5 major arcanas right in the first 6 cards. So in the past you seem to have found sort of this understanding about what makes you unique, what makes you special. Like what's the edge factor that you have that makes it set you out different from the people in your domain, in your career, or even beyond that. It could be even like you are multi-talented, you are specialized in multiple different things, and you're able to multitask it at the same time. So you've found that edge factor inside you. You've understood it. What makes you different. But in this moment, you're seemingly being stuck with the devil. The devil over here is representing your own fear. See how on both the sides of the devil, they're your shadow spirit being bondaged by the chains. Those chains represent your fear, bonding your own mind, and it's so for your mind to be able to be present and to able to act in a moment, it has to first perceive the possible action that it can take. Only then it can go out and act. What I mean by that is, so it's like if you have played any sport, if you like as simple as walking. For a kid to learn how to walk, for a toddler to learn how to walk, it's a process. They have to first crawl and then they transition into walking. And it's like memory, it's developing that information for themselves in their own head. So it's the same thing, like learning what makes you different, the magician, you're learning that process, and now you're developing a habit. So by gradual habit, your mind is developing the perception of the possible actions it can take. But now you're getting stuck in the fear of acting, fear of standing up for yourself, or fear of showcasing this uniqueness, putting it out for everyone else to receive, and so that they can get attracted and success can follow. In a way, this is possibly a fear of success or what follows after. Like after you get successful stage, you become like you seemingly transitioned as a general to a different person, and over here your expectation is to transfer into some like a priestess, an empress, which not only provides for itself but for people around, and it's very abundant energy. And this Empress is also pointing out using your newly found innovativeness, creativeness. This especially looks to me like a very unique edge factor. It could be like you're extremely good orator. You're an extremely good communicator. Like you can perceive what the other person wants, and then you can create the conversation so that it can get navigated in that direction. So you start understanding that there is an edge factor that makes it different. That uniqueness is what represents, like, once you start using it and get to a situation which makes you abundant, points towards an Empress. But right now your own fear is blocking it. Your fear of showcasing your uniqueness. It's the basic, it's very similar to a performance anxiety. You can be a very good performer, but there is a difference being able to do that on stage in front of thousands of people. So in your scenario, whatever the opportunity is, like, go out and communicate with other, like for a major opportunity, or speak in front of thousands of people, or whatever your specific uniqueness is, showcasing or sharing your work, if it's art, to a mass audience, and possibly thinking, like, understanding that there could be a possible negative feedback to it. It would not be just always positive. So not fearing all those circumstances of a future possible failure or a future success that could lead to further success, and that there is always, like, it's hard to understand, but all of us tend to have this fear of success too. That if we become successful, we would have to keep doing that much work time and again. So the consistency that is required to be successful kind of creates this fear of success, and then we don't want to pursue it. So that seemingly is blocking any movement forward for you being able to use the edge factor that you found out in yourself for your success. Fear not, because your mind is actually creating its own tower situation right now. Your mind's ambition is there, which basically means it wants to terminate your old behavior of being stuck in fear. Your mind by itself wants to terminate this devil. So it's in the process. So fear not, this is happening. If you're feeling impatient in this moment as to why you cannot move forward, you have to understand this time period has been given to you to get past this fear. You can slowly start testing the skill, the ability that you found that makes you completely unique. Start sharing your work, start expanding your audience, and start attracting more people. You have to understand sharing your work by itself is a process, because you have to acknowledge every possible feedback that seems constructive. Now, the constructive feedback can be negative, positive, but you have to acknowledge every single feedback that's constructive, and also let go of every unconstructive feedback. That only comes when your mind and heart is stable. When you're reading those, when you're understanding those feedbacks, you don't get emotional about it. Rather, you can take it very constructively and practically, so that you can keep honing this magician that you have found, the uniqueness that you have found within. So going back to the example, if you're a great orator, being a public speaker by itself is like a continuous learning process. Way to take pauses, like how to keep people on the edge, and then expanding that to more and more audience, and then speaking in front of large gatherings. So by that itself is a constructive process. So you have to believe in it, and you have to start taking step-by-step steps towards it, rather than hoping for instant success in this moment. So hoping for instant success also makes us look for really big opportunities, and makes us feel procrastinated about constructive step-by-step opportunities. all that is like a negative assessment on how you should progress, pointing towards the devil, that's fear, that's blocking your movement towards your own success. So how do you move towards that is, so Knight of Chalice is a card that points towards inner awareness, inner understanding. Understanding how you feel when you share your work or the edge factor, or when you use it for your benefit, how do you feel about it? Understanding both like euphoric rush of being successful after that, and also like the anxiety of using it before using that ability. It's like very similar to a magician using the wand. When it works, the euphoria of it, and when it doesn't work, things like the anticipation, the anxiety, and even before using that magic. So same thing with your ability. So you have to start understanding, you have to start collecting your inner data points, like inner feedback when you're talking to people or whenever you're sharing your work. How do they respond? Are they hiding any constructive feedback because of any like social fear or anything? Or is there any unconstructive feedback that comes to you? How do you let it go? All of that comes from like a lot of inner stability, inner awareness. Understanding that your ability, your work is not part of you, it's just an extension of you. It's just way of manifesting materialism. That's it. So your ability is just an extension of you. So don't let it hurt your feelings if and when you get unconstructive feedback, and if you get even constructive feedback that doesn't suit what you were thinking for or you're hoping for. Even then, both scenarios, you're able to you stay balanced and able to handle those feedbacks. Suggested advice: mastering your moon. Moon represents fear, mystery. Context for this advice: Knight of Swords. So, suggested advice is to start pushing past your fear. And context was Knight of Swords, which is acting for your own truth. So getting to this High Priestess stage where you have like a sort of balance, where your emotions don't get too heavy. At the same time, your mind is not over rational. Your mind understands that reality by itself can be irrational because of other people's judgment. And your heart cannot get over bogged down by things that they don't go its way, or it cannot get too euphoric by things that it goes its way. So balance, getting to this stage by itself is a step-by-step process. And one way you start doing that thing is by understanding what makes you, what defines your core values, and then you only take action when those actions are aligned to those core values. So Knight of Swords is acting for your truth. Once your actions are aligned to your core values, your actions would be 100% effective. You would be 100% engaged in them, and there would be no hesitation behind it. Actions with no hesitation, that's what brings result. Anything else, it's always like they would be unexpected gaps in the situation if your actions are not completely aligned to your interest. Because your heart, like your emotions would not be completely into it, your mind would be somewhere else. And with complete alignment, all those actions would allow you to get past these illusionary fears. Moon representing the fear, the mystery of the mind. Mystery is nothing but something which has not been explored. And this situation has been explored by your mind. So it's basically a situation that either you had never previously seen in your own life, neither you have heard from your parents, grandparents, or whoever shared their stories with you. so neither your peers. So it's a new experience altogether. Your mind naturally will fear because it's a survival instinct whenever we go and test a new boundary, to fear it. So don't give in to it. Acknowledge it that you are fearing this new experience. Everybody gets nervous, everybody gets anxious. Acting despite of that anxiety or nervousness, staying true to your cause and acting for your truth, staying aligned, keeping your actions aligned to your core values, not giving in to someone else's opinion just for the sake to get returned expectation, a returned result. Don't give to other people's opinions. Stay true to what you believe in. Only then you'll be 100% confident. Hopes and fears. 8 of coins, hoping for achievements. So you're hoping for able to see some result for these newly found abilities. Material, acknowledgement, anyway. Potential outcome, Wheel of Fate. You are where you're supposed to be, and good things are to follow. The more you keep learning, the more you keep learning about yourself, the more you keep conquering your fear, your mystery, good things are to follow. So Capricorn, the message is very clear. You've found your inner magician. You've understood what makes you unique. What's your edge factor? An ability that nobody else, at least in your perceived universe, hones. And because of that, this ability is something that you can truly use like a magician to create a lot of abundance for you. Since nobody else has it, it's like your unique magical wand. Learning this ability, showcasing this ability, and using it for large scale benefits, it's a step-by-step learning process. Instead of giving into the fear of success, fear of failure of any point, anxiety, nervousness, try to connect to your own inner feelings, inner awareness, especially when you're using your abilities for, like, newly found abilities for the first time. The anxiety of sharing your work with people around, the feedback, understanding which feedback which feedback is truly constructive, which one is not, leaving behind unconstructive feedback, not letting the constructive feedback hurt your emotions or ego, rather understanding that it is only someone else's perception of your work, and your work is nothing, just an extension of you. Realization of that will make you help get past the anxiety, the fear. It's like when you have never experienced anything, everything seems like dark over there. But once you start walking into that darkness, your eyes, your retina readjust to it. It's able to find some light that can reflect from somewhere. And if it's not, then it's like nothing will actually hit you in space. But what I'm trying to say, in a hypothetical scenario where everything is mysterious and dark towards you, like in front of you, the only way of understanding what lies behind it is walking through it. So stop giving into the fear. One way of starting doing that thing is understanding what truly makes you, what your true beliefs are. It's not based on anyone else's opinion, not based on half-learned fact. It's something that complies with your consistentness, like your consistent character. Something that stays uniform throughout. Once you start understanding that, taking right actions with full confidence, becomes easier. Moving past the fear, learning to deal with it, staying balanced during anxious moments, not letting success get to you or failure getting you bogged down. Once you don't let your heart impact your mind's thought, then the mind can think with ease. Your nervous system is calmed down. With a relaxed mind, you can keep pushing past that fear. Keep in mind, this is a step-by-step process. So rather than getting impatient about when you would become this empress abundant version of yourself, learn that every achievement during that process is important, it's crucial. Acknowledge it, celebrate it. Don't let any achievement go past without proper appreciation of it. Because everything you will receive and you're supposed to, and there's a reason for it. It's wheel of fate. Capricorn, I hope this reading connected with you. And if it did, I have an extended for it. In the extended, I would look at how to find further transition, further balance in using these abilities, transition towards becoming the High Priestess. Messages from the Oracle about the past, present, and future, and timing related towards the first achievement, first next milestone, first gift coming your way. All of that is in the extended. Link for that is below in the description box. Capricorn, I hope you liked the reading, and if you did, please do like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for joining me, and have an amazing week.